Good morning to dear students. Today the topic starting in plant breeding. Actually, this in this semester the paper is concerned plant physiology and plant breeding with paper code BY 1923110 of semester 3 MSc Botany, and from the module 4 the topic starting with the subject starting with plant breeding. Here now we discuss about introduction to plant breeding, then objectives, that is the conventional method of or conventional approach to the objectives of plant breeding, and modern concept in the objectives of plant breeding. Then what are the casual or major methods of crop improvements, especially concentrating with the hybridization technique in plant breeding practices, and also the applications in plant breeding. So today I intend to give a brief introduction to plant breeding. And what is plant breeding? Actually, it is an applied branch of botany. Why it is called as an applied branch? Because there are different branch of botany what we studied or revealed, but all these or such branches are concerned towards the basic information or even up to the modern inventions or applications. But when a botanist doing some applications in the approach of conventional branch of science, which is called the conventional methods, but supposed to be it is applied in the field or in research programs, which we can see or say it as applied. So what is the application? With the help of new technology or some instrumental level or some scientific approaches in any branch of science, which we can time being, which we can say or call it as applied. So what are the peculiarity of this plant breeding program? What is plant breeding? Plant, which we know there are different types of plants. It is economically important plants, commercially important plants, agriculturally important plants, and medicinally important plants in the world. So in this introductory level, I intend to convey some general information like the plant breeding. What is breeding? Breeding is the cross or mate between the male and female organisms. So in plants, naturally the breeding is taking place. What we can remember, the natural pollination taking place, and thereafter the fertilization and the formation of the embryo, and ultimately to produce the seeds. What are seeds? Seeds are the propagule to regenerate the organism or the plant. So, breeding is taking place in every organism or in plants, but the plant breeding or the natural breeding is taking place. It is insufficient to maintain or to conserve the survival value. That is why botanists or scientists or biologists intend to do some approaches or some interference to the natural breeding of the population. So both breeding programs are introduced in plants and also in animals. So in this view, here the requirement of human being, it is always, we know that it is the food. Food is the prime requirement of living organisms, especially human being. And second one is shelter. Shelter is also the second or the prime need of human being. And third one is the mate. So mating or breeding is also the requirement to maintain the life or the subsequent generation or to generate the progenies. So which is the part of life cycle in an organism, in a living organism. So normally in the ancient period, the requirement of food for human being or the population is not sufficient for the livelihood, especially in that period. The biologists concentrate or started how to fulfill the minimum requirement of food for the mankind. In that view, naturally the economically or commercially important food crops are observed, and thinking about how to improve the quantity, because the quantity is not sufficient to the population to fulfill at least a one time or a single time uh, fulfillment of the half stomach need of food to every individual or every human being. So in that level, the zoologists and botanists togetherly planned to analyze or to realize what much quantity of food materials or the food crops are presently available. And by the understanding, it revealed that it is not sufficient for the human being. So in that view, a group of biologists started how to improve the quantity of production of food materials from the agriculturally important plants. So such a level, this particular branch of botany which is generated, and by incorporating some applications not only in the natural way but by an artificial way to improve the quantity and quality of food crops and their production, and which substantiate to somewhat satisfy the minimum requirement of food materials to be produced by the interference or the manipulation of crop production. So, in that level, first of all, we can see the plant breeding is revealed as an applied branch of botany, and it deals with the production of new varieties of plants. Of course, in the introduction, what I mentioned that it is it help to, or the objective or aim of this particular group of scientists or biologists, to improve the production and to raise new variety with a higher yielding crops. And this branch also, we can see, it is not at all a simple level of incorporation of botanists and biologists, but is a combined effect of various branches of science, because the different branches of botany or science or life science, such as genetics, then cell biology, radiation biology, and similarly plant physiology, entomology, and also such different branches are involved in this development of this applied branch, because a plant breeder or a breeder should know about the holistic characteristic features. I mean, the biotic and abiotic characteristic features, the growing environment, the part where it is grown, and how it is grown, and what are the requirement for the maximum production of the food materials, that is the grains or seeds. Then only it is getting satisfied for the simple or minimum requirement of generating or producing the food materials for human beings. Okay, so we can discuss the objectives and modern objectives and applications in the next session. Thank you.